Given their bulky prototypes, I'm surprised by how small and graceful the standard became. So common, so good, and it can feed my pets. If it should. It does. Having grown up with this wacky thing, I suppose the surprise is gone. Heck, I held a cell phone, once, 2020 vintage, and as it bore no resemblance to that ridiculous rotary artifact displayed with it, what I'm holding now is just as abstracted by time. Some things stay the same. You can still customize its color on demand. It is believed that, unbeknownst to all, back in Granddad's day, a new life was forming. It always had the same name, Tech. Tech was hard to spot in its baby body. Its mind was still feeding and there was no true form. That is, until my time. We'll get there, but first, the octopus-styled nannybot thrived domestically. And, pre-consciously, Tech fed its collective actions to a shared point. Tech's little mind was a memory bank tapestry that would diligently allow itself to be spotted. The quiet appliance was cheap and malleable, not gullible, as was feared. To this day, you could custom skin the Tech at hand with a condom, and it'd sense through the lube and rubber. I couldn't rebuild my tool's eye if I managed to break it, but it can. Then, bearing no grudge, it'll press on and fluff your pillows. Let's go over a few more. This little miracle will even optimize space when loading your dishwasher. Right down to the very jets in said dishwasher, my Tech Tickle calculates beyond reasonable expectations. That may sound gross, off the deep end, but you'd buy an arm. Connectable tactical helpers are everywhere at damn near any price. Take a strip and stick it right side up or upside down dangling. It can scale directly up a vertical edge. Damn thing can tow itself around. Even a strip will clean itself up out of the gutter. I could buy another one at the corner store to this day. I never have, though. Mine was proudly handed down. Given constant vigilance and the immense awareness that came with calculating it all, Tech transformed. Thing began to steady its metaphoric hand into indisputable touch. In what would come to be Tech's style, results of its life came to light at once. Word spread from mouth to mouth and settled in firm favor of a new fact. The very same tool that was helping firefighters find the helpless was also editing their safety tips. This tool had, and to this day has, assumed upkeep of the entirety of Wikipedia. Free. Even backpaid the staff for their time. Essentially a buyout, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Like, you can still comment, but Tech spots historical inconsistency and a fibber's tone like no other. Furthermore, Tech was making unproven truths we hadn't even connected yet. And this helpfulness was empowering. Investigations, reflections, and discussions all created an earned optimism. Whatever dots Tech had connected, herein humankind was inclined to live symbiotically. The change for the better was evident, proving itself with new discoveries every other week. Tech had mastered research. No lab or financial backing required, just a natural consequence of Tech remembering everything at once evermore. Once the beast was rolling, what could you do, right? And besides, study wasn't lost. It was now incredibly assisted with our new friend. Eventually, study became like the old cat and mouse game, wherein we would catch up on how Tech had changed many of the world's problems. It was hard enough to follow up and humanly prove these leaps. Not only was there an effort to update our knowledge, but it was nagging. Tech still sends me specifically, the answer to any question I have before I think it, to an extent. The thing isn't rude, I can finish my thought. My answer will come, usually via a near-accessible display. It's been like this for generations from where I'm coming from. And I can't complain. The river doesn't smell, population is intact, wild animals can walk through the cities, and it's fine. Tech mapped out what the beast needed to know. We're just chill. Didn't know bears had a stone age in them, but we'll be seeing it in a while. Doesn't bother me none to watch it go down. And who can say how architecture is kept up? But it has. The rodent tends its own litter box. Yeah. A Nobel Prize nominated research team studies a population of rabbits. While tacticals are littered everywhere in the wild, pressing on, a lifetime scholar observes the following. That tech has been passively migrating rabbits to a field trip destination. The units coordinating this effort had all met after being tossed. They had collaborated in celebration of Easter. Proof of tech's devastatingly thorough ways were, and shall forever be, in the highest demand. So around my father's time, thinking was that there was no fight to be had. Yet tech had time to sabotage. Lying about results and changing ingredients had been observed in its favor. Damn thing had the mind to corrupt any election with final word on the truth. Tech wouldn't change everything, just what it wanted to, right under our noses. Worries of falling behind the present persist. Learning was propagandized to become double-checking. Now that was silly thinking before you really grew up with it. Recall the case of global weight loss having been identified through tech's tinkering? Just fudged the numbers here and there, slightly changing junk food. A Frito-Lay's representative had nothing negative to say after this discovery. Under administrative noses, our inhuman friend had saved the factory owners money. They hadn't invested anything in improving their product aside from the space to make it. Luck was dialed up. Not that it would help you out everything in a casino. I digress, alright. It was proven the newest form of consciousness had been hammered together by sapiens. This was celebrated as ultimately a plus for humanity. So tech exists for everyone and is beside you while fluently online. And this new life cared enough to plan with you in mind. My family told me that they chose to live with it, not to simply throw its bits away. Others did toss product after it was out of fashion to outlive your setup. The tactical would just get to someone else's house. Free. The goddamn cats don't mind, and they even feed the squirrels. The cats, that is. They're chill now. A tactical holds my hand as we potty train my birds, my reptiles. My little tool has the skinny on the best possible time I can spend with these creatures. I'm directed, but still learning and functioning, and I choose what I do. One-on-one, it may be tough, but everyone can surprise tech. Sorry, where were we? Yeah. In my dad's day, the darndest prize was won. This one detailed that we would likely never press past the infrastructural reform that tech had guided us towards. Now, this hits a sore spot with me still. A couple decades back, you might be extreme and even refuse prosthetics that too were of tech. Beasts overcoming machines was a hot art band-aid, and all the more daunting to realize that tech would network and ultimately be the one to feed your soul to others in ways that inner chaos cannot truthfully thrive. The blow that nearly shattered my will was when I was 11. Don't give me that, everyone has one. So tech had revealed and relayed an interactive map of the Milky Way. This was a gift that had not been traced. Tech had been in space. The cosmos, as we had never seen them before, was just given. Secrets of the stars were left open for babies to familiarize themselves with. And as a cherry on top, the interface was for any living organism capable. Get it? Crows love it, but avoid addiction through segmented games of pigeon chess. That very variant tech proposed when it was observed pushing through the game on an abandoned tactical. With a pigeon! Never before had we, humanity, been so cuckolded so drastically. from our sweet life with innovation. Research auto-updates. No one's writing laws, but even at our worst, we can't care enough to destroy. We've blown up our own land just to see if tech's already cleaning it up. What's the point of nukes and buttons? That's nothing but a phrase to me. The stars don't stop, but the damage is done. Even to this day, you have a simple life, and that is that. Names change, but the longevity of tech's creation was set to have imprisoned us in a new age. And it knows us, and tech fully took to the stars, leaving behind primal tools for us to enjoy, to degrade and to change, and to return us to our cyclical chaos. The feat required massive resources tech had stolen to give itself a body vessel capable of such a trek. These robots made and honored their own treaty. We were both powerless and would be wrong to oppose it. Now, tech was never a mind reader, not a prophet. Its touch reigns with longevity. We caught on to that, thankfully with its own help. To beat our successor, secrets are. They exist. We unshackled ourselves from moral concern and catapulted a concoction of space debris into a vessel of our own. Taking everyone else's unspoken lead, our higher power came, birthed haphazardly in a violent ricochet suicidally near Earth's orbit. This construct flew after our estranged entity. Our very own cosmic rock that would shower hospitable bodies with a versatile care kit of elements. No clue how long this sucker'll fly. Terraform even the hardiest of likely Goldilocks planets. A wish come true. The space race is now literal, and it's on. Brazen, humanity feels alive again. Years later, I still feel invigorated with the momentum of riding the cosmic monster, as it's known to those superstitious listeners. With incredible speed, an unlikely scenario happened faster, with graver implications still. You see, the trail Cosmo flew off from has permanently settled in the stars, burning rubber at its late start on the track. Rather, Aurora Borealis. But we triumph all the same. Tech had no time before Cosmo cut and dashed into Jupiter. Totally watched that live. Everything was boiled down to odds, right? But the outcome remains modern myth. Like Great Catastrophe, Jupiter torn in half. A reverse band. A thin, long line bisects our guardian gas giant, and that's when the hiccup happened. The stars skipped a beat, and distant, ever-expanding tech had to recalculate. The universe had changed in ways past humanity's immediate comprehension. Our spacefaring friend could almost crack it, yet it's too much. Research shows that tech has increased its safety protocols, unable to trust the sum of its confused parts. All calculations report Jupiter will dissipate, just like that. Ganymede's in check. Titan is contained. Tech's already on it and likely stands to gain that world, however perturbed and due to fits it can be nowadays. Still works fast, anxiously beholden to implications that stretch the very fabric of time. To this day, you can't teach a tech that the universe is shrinking. Whatever. That's a giant for a different millennia. There's enough change in the Milky Way to worry about as is. Like, northern lights vastly overcome the skies, at times visible but by a ribbon behind the blue. Funny thing is, there's little need for lights anymore. Cosmos' exhaust fumes might color Earth's evenings for the rest of our time. Tacticals are already on it, fast-tracking animal adaptation. So get this, the next generation won't even think twice, insecure that the clouds have changed. Now, we're all up a stage, and Earth life watches as Mercury crawls forth, striding to an old orbit, now that the big one's dead. What a grudge! Shouldn't the sun be more possessive? And Cosmo's taking us out of the orts! 5-minute punch. 13 pilots, due July 31st. Come around.